A seasoned airline captain, a man who had spent decades commanding the skies with an air of unshakable confidence, thought he was doing the right thing on a quiet Tuesday at JFK International Airport. Captain Douglas Reeves prided himself on his discipline, his authority, his ability to spot anomalies in a world where order meant safety. So when he saw a teenage black girl standing where she shouldn't be, holding up a phone near a restricted corridor with a clear view of the tarmac, his instincts screamed threat. Without a second thought, he made the call that would unravel his entire career. He believed he was protecting passengers. In reality, he had just picked the wrong girl to confront the daughter of the most powerful man in American aviation. 16-year-old Alana Brooks loved planes with a passion that consumed her. She wasn't at the arrivals hall waiting for her father like most daughters might be. Instead, she sat near the end of a quiet concourse, sketchbook balanced on her lap, shading the graceful wings of a Boeing 787. Her father had secured her a special pass to access the airside area, a gift to fuel her dream of becoming an aerospace engineer. When she noticed a service door left ajar, temptation won out. Inside was a perfect floor-to-ceiling window with an unobstructed view of the Dreamliner she was drawing. Alana slipped through, enchanted by the scene of baggage carts, fuel trucks, and the controlled chaos that thrilled her imagination. She took a few photos, leaned against the glass, and lost herself in her art. Captain Reeves spotted her minutes later. Tired from a long day, irritated by delays and paperwork, his sharp eyes locked on the image of a black teenager in a hoodie holding up a phone toward his aircraft. His mind didn't register a young artist. It registered danger, a trespasser, someone out of place. He stormed into the corridor, his voice sharp, his presence commanding. "What do you think you're doing here?" he barked. Alana jumped, startled, and stammered an apology. She showed him her sketchbook, tried to explain her fascination with aircraft. Reeves dismissed it all. "This is a secure area. You don't belong here. Give me your ID." When she hesitated, flustered, he was already dialing security. "This is Captain Reeves. I have a possible security breach." Female, uncooperative. He wore the smug look of a man restoring order, certain of his authority. The Port Authority police arrived within minutes. They saw the picture Reeves painted, an intruder caught red-handed. They questioned Alana like a suspect, ignoring her explanations, brushing aside her sketchbook as a prop. Reeves stood with his arms crossed, satisfied, convinced he was protecting the airport. The tension rose until Alana remembered her father's rule. "If you're ever in trouble and no one listens, call me." She asked to make a call. The officers allowed it, rolling their eyes. She dialed, her hands shaking. Her father answered on the first ring. Relief washed over her as she whispered, "Dad, they think I'm a threat." The voice on the other end shifted from calm to razor-sharp steel. "Put the officer on the phone." When Officer Grant took the call, his dismissive tone evaporated in seconds. His posture stiffened. "Yes, sir." "Understood, sir. We'll wait for you." The entire energy of the corridor shifted, though Reeves barely noticed. He assumed the father was some mid-level airport employee about to collect his daughter. But then a tall man in a tailored suit appeared, cutting through the terminal with a quiet authority that silenced the air. Alana's relief was immediate. "Dad?" she whispered, running to him. He embraced her, then turned to face the men who had accused her. His voice was calm, even, but carried the weight of someone used to commanding institutions. "I want badge numbers. Now." Reeves stepped forward, puffing his chest. "I'm Captain Douglas Reeves." "And who exactly are you?" The man didn't answer him. Instead, he handed his card to the officer. The color drained from the cop's face as he read it. Reeves snatched it next, irritation turning to horror as the words sank in. Nathaniel Brooks, administrator of the Federal Aviation Administration. The revelation crushed Reeves like a blow. The man who oversaw every license, every regulation, every rule of the skies was standing before him, and he had just accused his daughter of being a criminal. The smugness vanished from Reeves's face, replaced by dread. Nathaniel Brooks remained calm, guiding his daughter away first, promising her she was safe. Then he turned back, methodical, unyielding. He ordered an immediate report, demanded security footage, and told Captain Reeves, in front of everyone, "You are unfit to fly today. Hand over your credentials. You are grounded." Reeves's 30-year career cracked in that instant. He argued, sputtered, But it didn't matter. Brooks had authority not just as a father, but as the head of the system Reeves thought he represented. The investigation that followed was merciless. Senior FAA investigator Isabella Marquez dug deep. Alana's sketchbook and photos confirmed her story. Officer testimony revealed how Reeves had framed the situation. Most damning was the co-pilot, a young man named Ryan Lee, who admitted Reeves had returned to the cockpit muttering racial slurs about an affirmative action kid casing the plane. 2 previous complaints of discriminatory behavior in Reeves's file surfaced, ignored for years by his airline. Combined with a faulty security door left unrepaired, the picture was clear: bias, negligence, and arrogance converging on one disastrous moment. Reeves hadn't seen a threat, had seen a black teenager, and judged her guilty before she spoke. The fallout was brutal. Reeves was suspended without pay, his license stripped in a public FAA hearing. The airline, facing lawsuits and a public relations firestorm, cut him loose. The story hit the news, his photo plastered next to Alana's, framed as a case study in racial profiling. Hate mail poured in. His marriage collapsed. Friends stopped calling. Once a respected captain, Reeves became a pariah, working a menial job at a storage facility, staring up at planes he would never fly again. For Alana, the incident left scars, but also forged strength. She threw herself into her studies, then into flight lessons. A year later, at 17, she stood on the tarmac of a small Virginia airfield, about to take her first solo flight. Her father watched nervously as she checked her Cessna, every motion confident, deliberate. She taxied to the runway, heart pounding, hands steady. Manassas traffic, Cessna 842 Lima Bravo taking off, runway 16 left. Her voice crackled over the radio. She pushed the throttle, the plane roared, and she lifted gracefully into the sky. Above the ground, above the prejudice, above the walls others tried to build, she found freedom. She thought briefly of Douglas Reeves, not with anger, but with pity. He had tried to bar her from the sky, but the sky belonged to her now. Nathaniel Brooks watched from the ground, pride shimmering in his eyes. His daughter was in command, charting her own course. The storm Reeves had unleashed had ended in his ruin, but out of it, Alana had risen stronger than ever. The story of Captain Reeves and Alana Brooks became a stark reminder of how quickly power can collapse when prejudice collides with truth, and how justice, when it finally strikes, can change everything.